Hello learners, welcome to Education Online program. This teacher Regina Massimo teaching you biology for Senior 3 and Senior 4. Our topic is food processing along digestive tract in human. We learn about the human digestive system. We look at the structures, and even we talk about the function of some of the structures. So here we want to see when the human being eat the food, how these foods are processed, or how the food is treated for it to reach the level where can be accessed by our cells. Because as I said in our previous lesson, that with the animal, we gain our food from the surroundings by feeding on either plants or animal. But this food cannot be immediately accessible by the cell unless it is processed, unless it undergoes certain processes to avail it for the cell. That's why our topic about food processing, we want to see how do we process this food, or how do we treat this food to be accessible by our cells. So food processing is the treatment. Food processing is the treatment which food undergoes as it passes along the digestive tract, in order to be availed for the body tissue. Food processing is the treatment which food undergoes as it passes along the tract, so that food nutrients are availed to the body tissue, Yes, this is the definition for food processing. Is the treatment which food undergoes as it passes along the tract, so that food nutrients are availed to the body tissue. The food we take, it starts from the mouth until it reaches to the anus. It passes through this tract and it is processed as it passes. It is processed. What are the nutrients we normally get from our food? These are the nutrients. The nutrients are proteins, carbohydrates, which are sugars, then lipids. These are oil or fat. So these are the nutrients we are getting it, plus salts. But salts can dissolve in water, then get ionized, can be absorbed. But these nutrients here, they have very big molecules. Large molecules cannot be just accessed easily unless it undergoes many processes. So for the food to be treated, or for the food to be processed, there are many processes. The first process is called ingestion. one ingestion. This is the first process in the food treatment. The second one is called mastication. Digestion. Number 4, absorption. Number 5, assimilation. Number 5, assimilation. So these are the processes that take place during food treatment. Ingestion, this is when we're introducing the food into our mouth. This is when we are introducing the food to our mouth. Mastication, this is when we are chewing and grinding the food. Chewing plus grinding. Grinding the food. Digestions, this is when we are breaking the food into the smallest particle. Absorptions, this is when the nutrient can be accessed by the blood streams. That's why it is known as, this is the process by which the soluble products of digestion diffuse into the blood stream. So absorptions when the nutrients diffuses into the blood vessels. Assimilation, this is when these nutrients diffuse, then it is absorbed and converted into protoplasm. The soluble nutrients is absorbed, then converted into protoplasm. What is protoplasm? The cell structure generally divided into two, cytoplasm and protoplasm. The cytoplasm is the fluid where all the structures are floating, while the protoplasm, these are the other structures. When we combine the cell membrane with mitochondria, with the body Golgi, all these are the group of these structures known as protoplasm, because chromosomes are there where we get DNA and RNA, all this. So in this stage, the food is absorbed, then converted into protoplasm. For example, when the digestion takes place, these carbohydrates, which is sugar, is digested until it reaches the level of what? Glucose. This is the smallest unit of sugar. This is the unit of sugar that can be accessed by our cell. This is the molecule of sugar that can diffuse through our blood stream. So when it is absorbed, coming to this process, some of the sugar is used by our body. It burns, the energy is released, then we make use of this energy in movement, in carrying all the biological activities. The excess of glucose is stored in our body. So this can be stored as a starch. This is in the case of plant, but in the case of animal, the sugar, the excess glucose, is stored in form of glycogen. As a glycogen. So when the excess of sugar is converted into this form, that means assimilation is taking place, because the body has used rest of the glucose to release energy. Then the excess, the remaining one, then convert it into this form. So converting it into this form known as assimilation. So these are the processes during food treatment. Then we will discuss in this topic of ours, we are going to discuss number 1, number 2 up to digestion, until the digestion take place. Then we shall come and talk about the absorption and assimilation in the next topic. So when we start with the 3 processes, which is ingestion, mastication, then digestion. So the food treatment starts by introducing the food into the mouth. First, the food treatment or food processing is started by introducing the food into our mouth, taking it into our mouth. This is called ingestion. Then reaching to our mouth, what is taking place there? Chewing and grinding. In the mouth, chewing and grinding with the help of teeth. That means now mastication is taking place. We are chewing it and we grinding it using our teeth. In mouth here, these 2 types of digestion take place. Physical one and chemical one. Because the process of chewing and grinding using our teeth is a physical process. Then the enzymatic action, on the food to break it into its smallest particles, this is known as the chemical processes. So during the mastication, food is reduced to smallest particles for enzymatic action. After ingestion, now we are grinding and chewing our food. So during this process, mastication, the food is reduced into the smallest particle. This is where food now particles are prepared for enzymatic action. This is where the enzymes can come in to help in digestion. In this process, in the mastication, the food is mixed with saliva. If we are chewing and grinding our food in our mouth, that means we are mixing the food with the saliva. And saliva, as I said, has many chemical substances. Mucus are also there. Enzymes. What are the enzymes found in the saliva? Amylase and lipase. These are the 2 enzymes found in the saliva. plus the mucus. So here the food, in the process of mastication, the food is now mixed with mucus, mixed with amylase, lipase. Those of amylase and lipase, they are enzymes. They're breaking the nutrient. Like this one, it breaks what? It breaks the starch. The starch is the sugar, polysaccharide. The sugar, we get it from the plant. Assume that we are eating bread. That bread contains what? Is starch. So amylase will work on the starch to convert it or to break it into maltose. Maltose. This is another type of sugar, disaccharide. That means it is made up of two molecules. This one made of many units of sugar. And lipase here will break the protein. So these are the enzymes in the saliva plus mucus. The mucus itself, it's the one lubricate the food by, it's the one lubricate the food. The food become greasy or oily to facilitate its passing along the alimentary tract. Then when the food is moistened, mixed with the saliva and lubricated, then the food what? Leave the mouth. Leave the mouth. Because in the process of mastication, you'll find the tongue is also busy. Doing what? Rolling the food. Rolling the food into rounded masses. These rounded masses known as bolus. So after mastication and rounding of this food, lubricating it and digesting starch, maltose or the protein in the mouth, now the tongue will start what? Pushing the food into the pharynx. Then this one, after being rounded, then it is will what? Push into the pharynx. And we know very well that pharynx has two openings. One leading to the lungs. That means it's the one taking air into the lungs under respiratory system, that one. The other opening leading to the stomach or leading to the esophagus to reach the stomach. This one dealing with the digestive system. So this is the process of swallowing now taking place, pushing the bolus through the tongue to reach the pharynx. This is the process of what? Swallowing the food. It started. The food will start moving from the pharynx to the esophagus. So the food from the pharynx come to the esophagus by wave-like contraction of wave-like movement or wave-like contraction of muscles. To reach the stomach. In the stomach here, coming to the stomach here. Here in the stomach we have gastric juice. We have gastric juice. Gastric juice. Now the food has left the mouth where the saliva is, or where the saliva has done its part. Now it reaches to the stomach where the gastric glands are. This gastric juice contains many enzymes. You find pepsin is there. Pepsin. We find renin. We find hydrochloric acid. Even we get mucus also there. The food has reached the stomach, and in that stomach we have what? Gastric juice. The gastric juice containing all these: pepsin, renin, hydrochloric acid, mucus. This is what? This enzyme. Pepsin is the one breaking down the protein into peptide. It breaks protein into peptide. Then renin is the one breaking the milk protein into casein. Milk protein into casein. Renin is the first enzyme found in the child. When the child is given birth or when the child is born, this is the first enzyme should be there, because it's working on the milk protein, is the one breaking the milk protein. Then this hydrochloric acid, it is protecting the body because it's the one killing the bacteria that may be present in the food. The mucus is also protecting the wall of the stomach. Stomach wall. The stomach wall is protected from the damage. This damage can be caused by what? By hydrochloric acid. Because if the surface of the stomach is not covered with the mucus, then this hydrochloric acid, it is an acid. That means we'll have direct contact with the tissue. Direct contact with the tissue of the stomach and can destroy it. That's why the function of mucus is to protect the wall of the stomach from the damage. The damage may be caused by the hydrochloric acid. So all these processes, after taking place in the stomach, then the food move from stomach to the small intestine. The first part of the small intestine is the duodenum. Now the food move to the duodenum. In the duodenum here, most of the digestion take place. Most of the digestion take place in duodenum. So now the food is already in the small intestine, specifically duodenum. Small intestine, food in small intestine, specifically duodenum. And most of the digestion take place here. Why? Because the pancreatic duct open into duodenum, even the bile duct opens into the duodenum. So here in this duodenum, we have also some secretions. We have some juice. What are these juice? like bile from the bile that's produced by the liver. Then it's stored in the gallbladder here to be released into the duodenum through the bile duct. And even in the pancreatic juice, we have many enzymes like trypsin, lipase, these are some of the secretions in duodenum. From the liver is the bile. Then from the pancreas we have this trypsin and lipase. The bile breaks the fat. The bile here breaks the fat into fat droplets. After all this done in duodenum, now the food moves into ileum. This is the lower part of the small intestine. The lower part of the small intestine. In the ileum, we have intestinal juice. Intestinal juice. And this where the digestion get complete or completed. These juices are maltase, saccharase. These are all enzymes. Maltase, saccharase, peptidase, lipase. Peptidase and lipase. Maltase is the one breaking maltose into glucose. Saccharose is the one breaking down the saccharose into glucose. Then peptidase is the one breaking peptides into amino acid. Break peptides into amino acids. Then lipase breaks the lipids. That means the oil and fats in that food now is broken into fatty acid. Fatty acids. So when you look at this one, glucose, amino acid, fatty acid, these are the smallest particle of nutrient. Now they are ready for absorption. They are ready for absorption. That means this nutrient, if they are in form like this sugar, if it is in form of glucose, protein in form of amino acid, lipids in form of fatty acid, these are the smallest particle can be absorbed or can be accessed by our cells. That means they are now ready for the absorption. That means up to here, the process of digestion is done. So thanks for watching. We meet next time in the next topic about the absorptions and assimilation.